Hello everyone, welcome to second video on design compressive strength. So as per the discussion in the previous video, same numerical or rolled section design compressive strength we have already calculated in that video. In this video, we are going to deal with this welded eye section. So details for welded eye sections are given. Flange is of 300 by 30 and web section is of 500 by 20. Here the welding is really done and it is a welded eye section, correct? And details are given as length of your section is 6 meter with condition, end conditions are given, both ends are fixed, correct? So this is the given data. For this particular given data, you need to determine the design compressive strength for welded section, correct? In the previous video, we have seen design compressive strength for a rolled section. So that is the differentiation, and differentiation is for buckling class, correct? So initially starting with this one, the length of the section is given as 6 meters and both ends are fixed. So here the first step we are knowing design compressive strength PD is equal to area effective multiplied by FCD value. This is the common step that we are adapting for calculating the design compressive strength. Area effective into FCD. So in the very first step, you need to calculate the area value, correct? So I will writing area effective equals to, so area for this cross section, so two rectangular section and this vertical rectangular section, so that will be equal to 2 multiplied by 300 width of flange into 30 as two flanges are there plus vertical web portion, that is 500 by 20. So this is the area equals to, and value of area is 28,000 mm square, correct? So first step or first value for required strength, compressive strength we have calculated. Now next is FCD. So again we are knowing FCD depends upon lambda max value. Lambda max depends upon KL by R value. So you need to calculate lambda maximum, and for lambda maximum you are requiring effective length divided by least radius of gyration, correct? So effective length initially KL value, so KL is equal to, end condition is given as both ends are fixed. So referring table number 11 from page number 45, table number 11 page number 45, last condition, that is both ends are fixed, where rotation and translation is restrained at both the ends. So factor K is given as 0.65 into length is given as 6,000. So is equal to, so effective length we are getting as 3900 mm, correct? So other condition may be given, that is one end fixed, another hinged, one end fixed, other end free, or both ends are pin, both ends are pin conditions. So likewise any condition may be given. All the conditions are mentioned in table number 11 of your IS 800. Using that you calculate your effective length, correct? So here for FCD calculation, as per this formula, FCD calculation requires your lambda max value. For lambda max, you are requiring effective length by R minimum. So KL we have calculated as 3900 mm. Now coming towards your R minimum value, correct? So R minimum equals to, so R minimum formula is nothing but it is under root of I minimum divided by area. This is the formula, that is radius of gyration. R minimum is calculated as I minimum divided by area. So in the previous problem you must have observed that for this problem already the properties were given, as these properties we have directly copied on from steel table, correct? So for rolled section properties are known to us, you can take that value directly from steel table or IS 808, but in case of welded section likewise the values are not given. So for that cases you need to adapt your regular SOM principles or CG moment of inertia calculations, and you need to perform that calculation for R minimum value. So initially you need to calculate moment of inertia for this section, correct? So initially I have there, this horizontal is your Z axis and this vertical is your Y axis, and here your section is symmetrical about vertical Y axis, as there is no a second parallel axis for long vertical Y side. There is second parallel axis for Z side only, this is here, and here we are going to adapt parallel axis theorem for calculating the difference or perpendicular distance between two parallel axes. Here this is common Z axis and Z1 is individual axis, correct? So calculating moment of inertia, initially suppose about Z axis, so IZZ equals to, and that will be equal to IG plus AH square, that is parallel axis theorem, correct? So moment of inertia for rectangular section is B into D cube by 12, BD cube by 12. So this will be equal to 2 times as I am writing for your flanges. So B is 300 and depth is 30. So it will be 300 into 30 cube divided by 12, BD cube by 12, plus area into bracket, it is 300 into 30 area of flange into h value. So this square. Now h value is what? This is your h value. That is distance between two parallel axes, perpendicular distance between two parallel axes. So here total depth of your web is 500. So half of the distance will be 500 divided by 2. That is 250 plus depth of your flange or thickness of flange divided by 2. That is 30 by 2. So it will be equal to 250 plus 30 divided by 2. 250 is your half value plus thickness of flange by 2. So this is equal to 265 bracket square. Getting? Now plus into bracket vertical web section. So for vertical web section, your width value is what? It is 20 and your depth value is 500. So it will be 20 into 500 cube divided by 12, BD cube by 12, and this is equal to, correct? So the final answer I am writing directly. IZ value is 1473.73 into 10 raised to 6 mm raised to 4. So this is the first moment of inertia about horizontal z axis, IZZ value. Similarly, you need to calculate it for y side also. So suppose I will be writing here IYY equals to. Now here for IYY side, second parallel axis is not there. So even if you are applying Ig plus AH square, your H value is going to be 0, correct? So H multiplied by area is nothing but this entire value is going to be 0, therefore only Ig value is to be considered, correct? So IYY equals to, now here it is dB cube by 12, so 2 times into bracket, so B is 300, means it will be 30 into 300 cube divided by 12 plus for this particular web portion, so B into D cube, so that will be equal to 20 cube into 500 divided by 12. So web portion is single, 20 into 300 cube and 20 cube into 100. So the answer is 135.33. So final answer is 135.33 into 10 raised to 6 mm raised to 4. So this is second moment of inertia for y side, correct? So what is our assumption or what is our formula? You need to calculate lambda maximum for which r should be minimum, and in order to be your r minimum value, value of moment of inertia should be minimum. So here you can observe which is the minimum value. Here it is 1473 and second is 135. So in short, your y side IYY is minimum. So r minimum will be equal to under root of 135.33 into 10 raised to 6 divided by area. Area is 28,000. So that is equal to, so r minimum value you are getting as 69.52 mm. Radius of gyration r minimum, correct? So perform the calculations. Lambda equals to KL by r minimum, and this is equal to KL value 3900 divided by 69.52. This is equal to, so slenderness ratio you are getting, slenderness ratio for that calculation is 56.098. 56.098, correct? Now here lambda value we have calculated, lambda maximum, and that is equal to 56.098. Now what is the next step? Here you need to identify the buckling class. So again going or referring your table number 10 from page number 44 for buckling class, correct? In case of your welded section, you are defining your buckling class based on the thickness of flange, correct? So here as thickness of flange equals to, that is 30 mm and which is less than 40 mm as per that table, correct? So in table number 10 for welded section, thickness of flange less than 40 and greater than 40. Likewise, two conditions are given. So here our thickness of flange is 30 mm, which is less than 40, and for that case it is classified into z axis and y axis. Correct? So again, for z and y axis, buckling class is given as B and C. So our minimum radius of gyration is what? Here it is z axis and y axis. For this, B and C are the buckling class. Correct? So here we have observed that minimum radius of gyration is y side, and for y class your buckling class value is C. Correct? So refer table 9C, and lambda value calculated is 56.098. Now you need to interpolate for FCD value. Correct? So the value is ranging between 50 and 60. Correct? So for 50 and 60, and value is 56.098. Values are given as 183 and 168. 183 and 168 according to table 9C. Correct? For slenderness ratio 56.098 and buckling class is C. So the interpolation value is 173.85. 173.85 MPa. Correct? So calculating last step, design strength PD is equal to 28,000, that is area effective, multiplied by FCD value 173.85 equals to divided by 1000. So the final answer is 3245. Sorry, it is 4867. 4867 kilonewton. So is the final answer for second, that is welded I section. So here you need to understand the difference for rolled section as well as your welded section is that for rolled section your buckling classification is going to depend on your KL by R value or R minimum values, and again in case of your welded section your buckling class will be depending upon your second factor, that is thickness of flange value and H by BF ratio in case of your welded section. So here the numerical is completed. Final strength of your section is 4867 kilonewton. Correct? So this is the huge greater strength as comparing with your rolled section. Here near about it is going to carry 5000 kilonewton. So generally for your industrial structures your columns are designed or girders are designed with the help of likewise welded section. In case of light loading we are going for roll type of sections. Correct? So here the numerical is completed. In the next video we'll be starting with built up sections or built up columns by considering lacing and battening design. So thank you.